Welcome everyone. We are going to be learning how to cut various shapes out of papers. This is just going to open up a whole new world for you if you're new to digital scrapbooking. You can cut a shape out of any selection that you can make. Selection is sometimes referred to as marching ants, as you'll remember in the first layout tutorial, and we used, I believe, the rectangular marquee tool or the circular one in the first layout tutorial, and I'll review that quickly. I have here two pieces of paper, a solid color background. These two are from my heritage kit that's going to be for sale in the store, and a gingham one, which is going to be the accenting paper that we're going to be cutting out of. And I can just draw with my rectangular marquee tool to get marching ants or a selection, and with the gingham paper as my active layer, because it's what we're going to be cutting out of, I simply will hit Control J on the keyboard. Of course, if you're on Mac, I think there's a Mac button, and J will work. And now you can see that I've cut out a piece of the paper. I have turned off the eye, which is going to make this background paper invisible, in order to see the new layer that was cut out of the paper. And I can move this down to the bottom to be a border, or the top to be a border. I can rotate it and make it a border on the side. There's just so many things that we can do in cutting. I have for you to download some free tag shapes. And I'm going to share with you today how you can cut these tags out of paper. And so we're just going to grab the first one, and I'm going to bring that in. I'm going to drag it to my paper. Going to make the paper layer that we're cutting from the active layer, and then I'm going to hold down on my control key and click on the thumbnail of the tag layer. Now this is in Photoshop Elements 6. In earlier versions, such as the 3 that I had, you need to click over here in the layers palette. You're going to have to learn, I think 4 and above, you have to click on the thumbnail of the layer, and 3 and before you have to click out here on the actual layer itself. You'll see I have marching ants, but I'm still on this paper layer as my active layer, even though I've clicked up here. And now once again I'm just going to hit Control J on my keyboard, and you'll notice there's a new layer that has appeared in the layers palette, but we can't see it out here. That is because this layer for the tag shape is above this layer for the cut tag, and so we need to make this layer invisible by clicking on this little eye. And now we still can't see that tag because it is blending in with the paper layer, and so we need to also make it invisible. And now you can see that we have created a tag. You can see it even better if you make a drop shadow on the tag. And now if you wanted, we can use the rectangular marquee tool to draw a shape. I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to get my paint bucket, and with white as my foreground color, just fill that in. And now you really have a take shape that is taking shape. I'm going to add a drop shadow to that and maybe lower its opacity a little bit. I can resize it if I didn't create it correctly. And now you can see we have a very nice little tag going on there. And that's how we can make a tag cut from paper. I'm going to make all of these invisible. And now I'm going to bring in also another free download I have for you, some border shapes that you can also cut out of tags. I'm just going to grab a basic one. And bring it in on down to the bottom of my page. In the same way, you can use this as a template, and in the same way you can cut the paper out of it. I'm going to make my paper layer the active layer, and it doesn't even have to be visible to make this work. And I'm going to hold down my Control key, click to get my marching ants, and then do a Control J. I'm going to make my template invisible because it's covering up this new layer of my paper, and now you can see I have a fancy border down at the end of my page. If I wanted to, I could rotate this vertically and then move it to the top of my page instead. I'm going to make this invisible and show you one more thing that you can do. I can type text. Let's make it a little bit bigger text, and let's make it black just so we can see it. The color's not going to matter. Oh, I got an update trying to go in the background. Okay, I hate when things pop up when I'm recording my videos. I try to eliminate them all. I'm going to just drag and make this bigger, these text, and accept the change. Now, just as you can do with any other template, you can do this with text. I'm going to again make my paper layer the active layer, and I'm going to hold down the Control key and click on my text, and I'm going to get marching ants around the text. Hit Control J on your keyboard, and you'll see I created a new layer, but my original black text layer is covering it up, so I'm going to turn the invisible eye off, and you can see here it's not the best paper for cutting text out of, but you can see I have I add a drop shadow, or even if I stroke it, it would stand out a little bit more. But that is basically how you would use any shape, any template. If you wanted, here's one more idea for you, one more quick idea. You can go to the Custom Shape tool and choose any, let's make my thumbnails large. Choose any shape out of, I'm going to see all shape elements, out of the custom shapes. Let's just pick an arrow, and I'm going to draw a custom shape. You'll see the shape layer has appeared, and just as in the same way as before, I'm going to make the paper layer the active layer. Hold down the Control key and click on the thumbnail of this arrow, and then click Control J, and you'll see make this arrow invisible, and you'll see I just cut an arrow out of my paper. I'll add a drop shadow to it, and it's going to look great on my page. You can see I already have a nice nice little page going here with my title and my arrow. And so If you have any questions, please do ask in the forums, and if you create anything using this technique, feel free to share in the forums, and I hope you have a wonderful day.